I've been getting into gears and transmissions and differentials lately, so I took a look at the PTC Knowledge Base where they have a suggested technique for creating an involute gear, and I'm going to go through that now. And when you take a look at the Knowledge Base, they have a file you can start off with, but I'm going to start right from scratch. Let's create a brand new part, and I'm going to call this gear involute. And instead of using the default template, I just want to make sure that I'm using my standard start part. So here we have the part started. Let's create the main disk of our gear. I'll start by selecting the datum plane called front. Let's do a sketch. And my sketch is just going to be a circle. And we'll have this be a diameter of 20. Then I will use my right mouse button to get out of sketch mode. Let's extrude this, and we're going to extrude to a depth of 5. And hit the check mark. And there we have our main part of the feature created. Let me hide some of the datum planes that I am not going to need. I will need the datum plane called top because right now we are going to create a new datum plane at an angle, and this is going to be the mirror plane for two of the sides of our shape of the tooth. So let's create a datum plane, and I'll select the axis going through the middle of the disc and then the datum plane called top. We want it to be a value of 10 degrees, and I'm going to rename this to be called my mirror plane and hit the OK button. With that, now we are going to create a sketch that we are going to use as the trajectory for a variable section sweep in a moment. So let's create a sketch. We're going to locate it on the front surface of the disk, and for orientation we're going to choose the datum plane called top to face the top of the computer screen. Let's click the sketch button, and I'm going to use my sketch view icon in the in-graphics toolbar. For the shape of this, it might help if I go to a no-hid line for a moment. We are going to sketch an arc, and it'll help if we have a couple of center lines to begin with. Let's create this first center line and then another one. And let's create some dimensions inside of here. One of the dimensions that we want is from the first center line to the mirror plane, and that's going to be a value of 4. And the other angular dimension that we want this one to be a value of 20. Our arc is just going to be between those two center lines. So let's create an arc, and I can use the center and ends method. We'll center it there, and it's going to start here and go over to there. The dimension that we're going to use for this is going to be the actual arc length. And to create the arc length dimension, we'll click the dimension tool and then pick the arc itself, then pick one endpoint and the other endpoint, and then middle mouse button. And this is going to have a value of 1, and that little hat over the dimension indicates that it is the arc length. That's good. Let us hit the check mark. So there we have our trajectory that we're going to use. But before we make our variable section sweep, I am going to set up a couple of other different values in here. Let's go to the model intent overflow menu. I'm going to go to relations, and we're going to create a couple of other different dimensions in here. First off, the variable section sweep is going to have some relations inside of it. So let's create a parameter that we're going to use later on. We're just going to give it a name of A, and it's going to be equal to 0. Let's create another couple things that we're going to use in there. One, we're going to create a parameter called 2 degrees, and that's going to be used to convert from degrees to radians. So we're going to make this equal to 180 divided by pi. And by the way, if you go to insert parameter from a list, actually not insert parameter from a list, if you actually go to f of x, you can actually get to pi inside of here, or you just type in pi, that'll give you pi as well. And the other one that we're going to have in here is we're going to set up a dimension for the radius of the root circle for the gear. So I'm going to call that root circle radius. And this is going to have a value of 8. And the other dimension that I'm going to set up, or parameter I'm going to set up in here, is going to be the angular dimension between the endpoint of the arc and that datum plane that I created. And I'm going to use a value of 10 for that. So I'm going to call that my angle, and that's going to be equal to 10. And I always like to verify my relations. Everything is good. And now if I actually take a look down in here, I now have those as parameters in my model since they are defined in the relations. All right, let's click the OK button. Now we are going to create our variable section sweep. So we'll click on the sweep tool. To make it a variable section, I'm going to use this button on the interface to say allow the section to change. This is going to be generated as a surface. And for my references, I'm going to use this curve as our trajectory. And for the shape of the sketch, let's click on the sketch button. And I'm going to go to my sketch view. And for our sketch, let me turn off the display of my datum planes for a moment. And let's add in the additional sketch reference of the other side of the disk. And our sketch is just going to be a straight line, a vertical line. And we're going to dimension it from the axis in the middle. Initially, we're going to give it a value of 8. But for this variable section that's going to be created along the length of the trajectory over here, we're going to write a relation inside of the sketch. So let's go and do that. I'll go to Tools and then Relations. And for the different relations that we're going to use in here, we're going to use this weird one. We're actually going to solve for a variable. So we're going to use the keyword solve. And then for the next line, that parameter that we initialize, we're going to have a times 2 degrees, the conversion, minus the arctangent of a is going to be equal to trajpar times that angle parameter that we created. So let's do times angle. And then we're going to use the keyword for and then a. And then for controlling the value of the dimension to have it change along the length here, we're going to select this dimension. And this SD4 dimension is going to be equal to the root circle radius. So let me choose that. I could type in the whole thing or insert the parameter from a list. Oh, actually, it doesn't allow me to do that. Let me define that in here just to make sure. Let's do root. I will just call it like they do in the explanation. Our base is going to be equal to root circle diameter. And let's define 2 degrees in here as well, just to be safe. And SD4 is going to be equal to that R base times 1 plus a squared. And this whole thing taken to the square root or raised to the 0.5 power. And let's verify. And in this case here, it's not allowing me to use that local dimension. Let's just choose this to be a value of 8. There we go. Let's click the OK button and click OK out of here. And then let's go back to the Sketch tab, hit the check mark, and there we can see the shape of the surface that's going to be created for us. Let's hit the check mark out of here. Let me turn my datum plane display back on. And so here we have our side for the tooth. Let me go back over here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to mirror this. Let me choose the mirror command and then mirror about this plane over here and hit the check mark. And now to connect these two different things, let's create another sketch. And I'm going to use previous for what I was sketching on before for the arc. And for this one, let's add in a couple of additional sketch references. Grab the endpoints there. And again, we're going to do an arc, and I'll use the center and ends method. And it's going to start there and then go to and let me do a coincident constraint. Try delete segment. There we go. And hit the check mark. Now we're going to take that curve and we are going to extrude it as a surface. And for the direction, let me flip it. And then I can right click over the depth drag handle and choose to selected. I'm going to query select to the back surface of the disk and then hit the check mark. And at this point, let me try going back to a shaded mode. And so turn off our datum plane display. And I no longer need my sketch over here visible. Let's hide that one. And so now we have three different surfaces in here that we are going to stitch together. So let me go back to no hidden line. And we can change our filter here to quilts and grab these three. I'm just going to hold down the control key to grab all of them. And then from the mini toolbar, we can choose the merge command in order to stitch these together. So now here we have our quilt created. Let's select that quilt and we're going to copy and then paste special. And for locating this, we are going to rotate it about the A1 axis, and we're going to rotate it here. We're going to have these located 20 degrees apart. And the weird thing is that in a moment, we are going to use the Solidify command to remove material. Unfortunately, I cannot pattern the Solidify, so that's why we're going to use this weird technique where we're going to first copy and paste. Oops, let me edit definition because I want to go to the Options tab, and we want to hide the original geometry, or we don't want to hide the original geometry. We want to be able to see it. So there you can see our moved copy. And now we're going to take this and we're going to pattern it. And we'll use a dimension pattern. We'll select that dimension over here. We're going to use the same increment as the dimension itself. And because we want these going around 360 degrees, but we already have one created, we're going to choose 17 as the total number of members. So we're going to end up with the original plus 17 in the pattern over here and hit the check mark. So there you can see the different surfaces that we have inside of here. Let's go back to the first merge over here. We're going to use this to do a cut. So let's do a solidify. And let's choose to remove material, and we're going to remove from what's in the inside over here. You can start to see a preview of the geometry that is going to be removed. That's good. Let's hit the check mark. And now we're going to repeat that process with this other quilt. Let's do a solidify, and we're going to remove material, and let's remove from what's on the inside and hit the check mark. So there we have our second tooth. Now at this point I can go back to shading with edges, and we're going to pattern the second one, and it's going to be a reference pattern. Then we hit the check mark, and so now we have our tooth created in our gear. So again, this is the suggested technique from PTC's Knowledge Base. I'm going to take a look at some other different methods of creating involute gears as well in order to compare to this particular method. But I hope you enjoyed this video. For more information, please visit www.creowindshield.com. If you learned something from this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like this video, please click the subscribe button to be informed when new videos are uploaded. Thank you very much.